Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. I've been talking to you about planetaries and my planetaries so that we can bolt them on an axle. So, I'll try to make this quicker than the last one. So, what do we got here? Here's a front Dana 60 shaft. Here's my spindle. And as I showed y'all folks before, Dana 70 and Dana 80 hubs, bearings and all. Dana 70 and 80 bearings and all will fit directly on a 60 front spindle. You guys may know what this looks like on the ass end of a truck. You got these on the ass end of an 8-lug full floating axle. And then your axles bolt in right there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So, there you go. So, talk to you till I'm blue in the face about why planetaries are fantastic and the manufacturers designed them and developed them and have several different types. It's basically, the factory's always about to increase the load and save money. That's what it's always about. So with planetaries, you get to save a whole lot of money in the initial build cost. So, here we go. Here's our Dana 60 setup with our full floating hub on there. Not this factory one like for lockers that you guys are used to seeing, this big old snout thing. We're just talking about rear hub off a rear axle. Plain Jane. So, there you go. So, what's involved in a planetary? I've told y'all that you've got the sun gear, which is going to slide onto the shaft. The sun gear goes into the planets. The planets revolve around the ring gear. So, there you go. 3 components. Just like our diagram says from Rockwell. Ring gear, planet gears, and floating sun gear. So, universal planetaries. Who would have thought? So, we have to have a drive plate that's got the shaft sticking out of it. So, we got to have a drive plate, right? Yes, we do. Drive plate's got a bolt right on top of the hub. Drive plate's going to bolt right on top of the hub. And then we have to secure our ring gear. So, we need to have us a threaded neck here so that we can thread down our ring gear. This is just the back, just showing you guys. I've just popped this back part. This is how the transmission holds it. Now, see, I'm on TV. Now I can't get the sumbitch to go in. There we go. So that's what holds that ring gear in the transmission. And these right here too. So, all we have to do is thread that down. Thread it down, and we have to lock it. Remember I told you in axle planetaries, the ring gear, annular, it stays stationary. And in axles that are designed for it, usually the spindle end, the very end is splined. Got threads and then splines. So that this ring gear carrier, it just slips on the end. It just slips on the end. So now we've got our ring gear locked down, so now we're good to go. Got a ring gear locked down, got a shaft coming up through there. Drop that on, drive plate, cinch it down, we're good to go. So, what does that look like? Well, I've sort of done a little mock-up just for you guys to get a picture of what they're going to look like. The Planetaries that are coming out in the summer of 2022, I want to show you what the bolt-on Planetaries are going to basically look like. So, once again, there's our factory 60 spindle. We have retrieved a Dana 80 hub from the wrecking yard. It's even got that something auto parts. Here's your typical 8-lug hub. Floating axle type. So, we have to bolt on our drive plate. This will be cut out. Bolt on our drive plate to those 8 factory bolts. So the hub's already cinched down. We've got our preload adjusted, and this is what we're left with. So we're going to bolt down our drive plate. There's a ring gear. And a hole. So, now friends, and you dumb shit, I'll just move the damn camera. Look what we have here. We've got a 30 spline 60 shaft sticking out of the front of a Planetary ring gear. Now this is just a mock-up. It doesn't even extend down that far. I've showed y'all folks that basically this Planetary assembly is only going to add approximately 3.5 inches to the whole thing. So, here we go. Our drive plate is going to attach there. That drive plate. Put that down. There we go. There we go. Grab us some planets. Well, we got to slide on our ring gear first, right? I got to bore that and 30 spline it so that it fits on the end of our shaft. But I think y'all get the point. So now I'm going to slide my new sun gear down on there. Then I'm going to drop my planet set on there. And it's going to have 4 longer pins. And then all I have to do is attach my drive plate to the hub. All I have to do is attach my drive plate to the hub. So, these only have to be that long. So, if you can envision this, planet assembly attached to the drive plate, just like Rockwell does. They use longer planet pins to go all the way through the carrier and hold the planets. So, we just get us longer 1/2-inch tool steel pins, and then drive plate will be drilled for the pins. So, in all actuality, you'll be setting this down like this. Boink. Together. So, that's all there is to it. Of course, you gotta know how to do it, and you gotta know how to machine it, and you gotta do all that other shit. And you gotta think about it for several months, couple years. But there you go. So, once again, so that you know that you haven't been smoking too much today, here's our factory setup. Gonna have a drive plate right here. Gonna have this sun gear which goes on there. Planetary's gonna slip down. Gonna put our guts in. Gonna attach our end plate. And there you go. What you are looking at, my friend, what you're looking at is universal planetaries, upgradable, all parts available on the market that'll bolt on any 8-lug, 8-bolt axle that there is. I hope you guys are with me. People said I couldn't do it. So what are these things going to cost? These off-roaders that I'm seeing, all these rock bouncers that are going to all these national shows, rednecks with paychecks, Punta Gorda, Yacht Club, you name it, Iron Horse, Extreme, Bricks, Soggy Bottoms, they are spending a whole lot of money on this stuff. Big old Dana 80 axles and deuce and a half outers and Planetary this and... But especially when it comes to those rock crawlers and all that, I see all these people like my Jeep. Both my Jeeps have got that rock crawler transfer case in it, that 4-to-1 and all that gear reduction. But think about something. These planetaries come out of these transmissions. They give you a 3-to-1 reduction. They give you a 3-to-1 reduction. 3.06. These planetaries. So, what does that mean? That means like if you got a buggy running some big old tires and you were gonna have to buy you some 488s and 513s and 650s or some 717s for a damn Dana axle. Remember now, when you get more teeth on the same size, the teeth get smaller and they get skinnier. That's why you getting big ringing pinions, right? When you're trying to stick 30 teeth on there, they get to be real big. But if you're trying to stick 54 on there, they ain't quite so big. So, three to one reduction. So, 3 to 1. I want you to think about that, especially you dudes with the big ass tires and the ones that are doing that crawling and the rock bouncers. So, you don't have to have running Planetaries. You don't have to be running deuce and a halves. Hear me? You don't have to be running deuce and a half axles. You don't have to be running RCVs. You don't have to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on 40 spline shit and Dana 80 axles converted to steering axles and spend $2,000 or $3,000 on hubs just at crane alone, and you only got 15% of an axle built. Hell, these guys are spending $20,000 on one axle alone. Not my style, but I guess if it is, to each his own. So there you go, my friends. Bolt on universal planetaries. Like I said, if you think your shit's too badass for this, we can step you up to a 5 pinion. And if you think you're even more badass than that, we can step you up to a billet 6 pinion. And each one of them's rated at 1,850 continuous. All right, my friends. This is kind of exciting. God bless you. Merry Christmas. It's a couple days after Christmas. And a Happy New Year. And let me know if you want to get some Planetaries. Bye.